Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Pastel Podcast. I'm Kari Stober, your co-host for today. And I would introduce my co-host, Lisa Skelly, but she's actually painting in France right now. I wanted to record an opening for this podcast you're about to listen to because it's a special one. We recorded this live at the Plein Air Convention in Reno in May with the unbelievable Harley Brown. Unfortunately, we were having some internet connection issues while we were there, and the beginning and the end of the podcast didn't record very clearly, and it's a little garbled. So we're going to cut those pieces out. But I promise you, this podcast is still worth the amount of time you are going to get to. I mean, it would be worth it even if you listen to the garbled mess. But it was such a wonderful experience to get to not only meet Harley, but to get to know him and record this podcast with him. It was so much fun. He's such a wonderful human being, as is his daughter, Lori. So please give it a listen. And if you want to read what you missed in the audio, you can find the transcript along with the recording at thepastelpodcast.com. Thanks for giving it a listen and stay vibrant.
How about now?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Pastel Podcast. We are here live at the Plein Air Convention and Expo in Reno, Nevada. And you can see my beautiful co-host, Lisa, here. She was on faculty, and we decided what better time to record a couple of podcasts with some legends. So today we have the only
I'm looking around for the legend.
Harley, the one and only Harley Brown. Welcome, Harley.
Thank you. It's a great honor. And it sounds like we're going to have fun.
Yes, I think we are going to have a ton of fun. Hold on a second. Because I just realized that I might not have. It is. Nope, it's good. Dean, cut this part out, please. I love you.
Are we going to start again?
Nope, we're just going to keep going. She'll cut that part out.
Okay. And
So-
now I'll record?
Yes, so we're recording. So, Harley, you said this is the first time you've been at a convention like this in a long time. Do you want to tell us about your experience?
Well, I love the way it's laid out with, instructors and professional artists. I mean, people that are coming here, and I've talked to so many of them, are thrilled at what they're learning. And it's like nothing I've really seen in my lifetime. And I mean, I could go on, but I think it's something that's memorable, and it should be the tradition of many people who want to learn art. I learned art being with master people that are really mentoring younger people, not just teaching, but they are themselves were teachers, or not, they were artists, and bringing what they knew to us. And this is what you get right here.
You know, that's really saying something about the Plein Air Convention and how much it touches everybody's lives and how much we appreciate those that came before us, like yourself. So right here, we have the Lifetime Achievement Award, and the recipient this year of the Plein Air Convention. And we have a live audience too, so that's really fun. But the Lifetime Achievement Award, Harley Brown, and we are so lucky and blessed that he is our guest today.
I'm honored, and the fact that it's not just 1 year, lifetime.
A whole lifetime.
All of it encompassed together,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
just 2019.
And for these moments, I love, these are really powerful moments. Just a few days, and when you think of your entire life, and then all of a sudden you got these glorious days, with artists and people involved with art. Woo!
Wow.
This could be it for me. I can now go into a home.
You can go to the great beyond.
Don't go yet.
To
Not yet.
senior home time. No, I can teach lessons there. What the heck?
Go.
Yeah, we'll have senior time. We'll have lifetime senior.
Achievement Awards.
Lifetime senior.
There'll be a lot of seniors.
It's a lot of competition.
Well, I'll try not to be funny.
Well,
You are absolutely allowed to be funny.
Yeah.
I would be disappointed if you weren't.
You said we were going to have a lot of fun here today, so
Okay.
let it fly. Yeah, but I got to watch your presentation along with at least 100 other people, and it was so magical to hear about your art and about just what you brought to it, and how you share your love of what you have already accomplished in your lifetime. And your lovely daughter is here too, and she's
Hi, Lori.
Hey, Lori. And it was emotional for everybody. Everybody got emotional, laughing and crying. So thank you for that. And so we've got a lot of questions for you today.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to answer as best and as openly as possible.
So you have had a very long and thriving career. How did you get started with art?
Well, I started when I was 7. My dad did a drawing. He said, Harley, come in here. I want to show you something. He showed me a drawing he'd done for my mother when they were courting back in the 30s. We're talking about a century ago. And he showed me this drawing that he had done of Ronald Colman, a profile. I remember, I was 7 years old. I actually remember as if it was happening now. I remember looking at that, and with that young 7-year-old mind, I knew that was my life,
Wow.
that I was going to actually do that, nothing else. That was it. But I just stick this in. At the very same time, my mother took me to a piano and made me sit down, and she said, you're going to learn to play the piano. Oh, okay. So I had art, music
Wow.
at 7 years old, and those two places in life were right to this moment as you see me, music and art.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were going to try to get you a piano, but we couldn't get it up here.
Yeah.
That's your good fortune.
You know, when you were doing your presentation, you said that you love to paint profiles. Is that because that first picture, that drawing?
You know, I've never thought about that, but by God, I think you have it, because that profile of him really got me. But I also like profiles, but I think Mother Nature is almost like there was a final touch that, okay, and the profile is, to me, magical to look at.
Yeah.
Face on is great, 2 eyes, nose, and mouth, but that profile, the shape of it, when you think with the lips and the chin
Yeah.
going up and the forehead and that, and people sometimes with the hair or this and that, and even with glasses on, to me, the human face is the ultimate in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the beauty, and there you can see the soul of the person.
You can see the
Yeah.
soul,
Mhm.
part of it.
Part of it. Part of it. Yeah.
Now, can you see, if you were looking at me for the first time, could you kind of get a glimmering? So let's say we chatted a bit. Could you get a glimmering by looking at my face and my reaction to things? Maybe a touch,
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
a little touch.
I did. I know that when I met you, I wanted to know more. And then I wanted
Mysterious.
to hear more about your life, because you have this wonderful, effervescent, loving soul that you share, and you're generous and you're humble, and everybody wants to know more.
An interesting thing is, and I've always talked about my life being from the age of nothing to the age of 20, and the age of 20 to the age of 35, the age of 35 to this minute. When I was very shy, people wanted to have nothing to do with me because I was so shy and aloof. Sometimes we can talk about the age of 20 to 35, but the age of 35, I kind of resorted for reasons back to my young, aloof, shy days. And that's when, and this is the interesting part, at the age of 35, that's when I became, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Harley Brown.
Who
Interesting.
were you before that?
Before that, I was just shy, very nothing, just did my schoolwork and I had the personality wasn't there. Girls wouldn't look at me. Not only talk to me, they wouldn't look at me.
Yeah.
The age of 20 to 35 was when I went through an absolutely insane period.
Wow.
Beyond,
I've heard stories.
later on, you can ask me how insane it was. And it has something to do with the confessions book. But the age of 35, when I went back to being aloof and shy for a particular reason, I then had a lot of time because nobody invited me to parties anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I became very boring. So no parties, and I had a lot of time for myself. And that's when I started really studying. And luckily, from the heavens, important people got a hold of me because they could see my art. They phoned me up, and that's when I started getting involved with the art associations, Prito West, Calway Arts, and so on and so forth. And that's when I very slowly became myself, because I didn't care if I excited people or bored them.
Yeah.
So part of it is not caring.
But just finding
about-
yourself. That's
Mhm.
so fascinating. I feel like I never thought about like that before, but I feel like that's what I experienced a few years ago when I started to do more and more things and kind of stepping outside my comfort zone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I kind of really
There you are.
found who I was. That's so cool.
I think when you're more self-conscious, then you care more, and then you're more concerned about it. And when you let go of being
Yeah.
self-conscious,
Yeah.
then you're like, and then you can really have more freedom to be
Mhm.
express yourself and be who you are, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
And so then you can just be yourself.
Well, let's take this one step further.
Yeah.
If people right now watching this are getting up and going for coffee, I don't care.
I don't care if they're having a martini or anything.
We got a full house here right now.
Yeah.
Let's see if they're still full by the end of this. Oh,
So we
Anyway.
So speaking of books that you've written and things that you've done, there's a book that you wrote, Confessions of a Starving Artist. Can you tell us about how that came about and the idea of it? And
well, there's the same person that did my first book said, okay, let's get down and Harley, you've lived an interesting life. Why don't you start talking about your life as an artist and how it happened and how you're living through it and all of those things? I said, well, yeah, okay. I said, how do I start this? And I remember I asked, how do I write this? And I got from a member of the family, my wife said, be honest. Right from the first word you write down, be honest. And so that's when I put the first sentence in the book. If anybody reads it, the first sentence, I can't remember what it is. And I'll tell you why. But I wrote the first sentence, and it is poured out.
wow.
The stuff in that book. Okay, now let me add something to it. And I know I don't want to get boring and people are walking
You are
away.
absolutely
This is-
not boring,
this
sir.
is
You are 100%
Okay.
fascinating.
We're
There's
involved.
somebody I know in the film business who knew my life story, read the book, knew about me, listened to me chatter and all that.
Mhm.
Said they've known, this is somebody in the movie business, said they've never known anybody who's had a more interesting life than me. They said, we want to get we want a movie of you. We want to make a movie of you.
Mhm.
And here's the studio that you're going to get a hold of. Send them your book, add some things on about your life, send it to them, and we're going to get this thing going. And I thought, who's going to play me? John Malkovich, Brad Pitt, maybe. You know what I mean? You know, yeah. He can shave his head.
Can.
And so I waited, thinking, okay, and so I'm going to be in a way that when I go into restaurants, oh, are you
You're
Harley Brown? You know, yeah. Anyway, I waited and waited and waited for the moment. I got a letter finally from the studio, big time studio, and I read it and I thought, well, and the last two lines said everything. And I'll tell you what they were. Harley, comma, your life is much too bizarre and nobody would believe it.
oh my god.
And they signed it.
You got
And I
denied.
said, I'm sorry, Brad. You're gonna have to go elsewhere.
That's awesome.
That is funny.
It,
Wouldn't believe
it
it.
was, so that's that book. If you read Confessions of a Starving Artist, you're gonna read the life of a total berserk nut job. Like you've
Were those
never,
the years between 20 and 35?
between the age of 20 and 35. I became from a very aloof, shy guy at 20, and because of one incident, I became a berserk for 15 years. One incident that happened.
Are you going to tell us what that is or no? Is that a secret?
Well, it's nothing to do with art. Are we talking about art? I'll tell you.
We can talk about anything you
Okay.
want to talk about. Let's talk about King Kong.
The incident, King Kong? That was one of my
Anything.
favorite movies when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. I remember when he went, the Empire State Building
Yeah.
when he was in the top and,
Yeah.
and that girl in his hand.
And the
And then
girl.
finally the jets coming around like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And then he topples down.
Swatting them away. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, so what's the incident?
the incident was when I was in school. My first year there, silent Harley, aloof, shy,
And this is college?
college,
Or-
arts
okay.
college.
Art school.
And I, by accident, told one of my friends that I played the piano. And then I was playing mazurkas and polonaise and all that stuff. And I said, do not tell anybody, please. The next day, in the lunch hour, two guys came up to me, grabbed me by the ear, and took me over to the lunch piano.
Oh
I said,
no.
what's going on here?
Oh.
We heard you play the piano, Harley. Get down there and play it.
Oh.
So I did some simple stuff, like da 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 da, and they looking at me. What's this? Then all of a sudden people started looking at. For the first time, people looked at me.
Mm.
Dun, 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 dun. Then I started putting in boogie. Maybe a little sonata, maybe a Chopin. But then I started going with the book, and the crowds came from all over the room, came up to the piano. And for the first time in my life, a girl looked at me. Harley, that's wonderful. And I never had a drink in my life. After that happened, when I finished after 15 minutes of this and that and all the stuff, Bumble Boogie and all that, they said, Harley, you got to come up to the Corral Bar. Let's have some drinks. I never had a drink. I went up that after school. I went there and sat and started having a beer, another, and I started chatting. Hey, that's funny, man. And people were laughing. Oh, God, Harley. Oh, man. So I did 15 years parties after that. 15 years of wild, crazy. And like I said in the book, you would not believe the things I did. Like I said,
I need to get this book.
Yeah.
you have to
We
get the
all
book.
need to get this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you find a good producer,
I think that put that out there because it needs to be a movie.
I'm pretty sure Eric knows some people. We can pull some strings, I'm sure.
There you go.
well, I'll give you one example of total bizarre. Total. When I was so poor that I used to go to the stores and read the magazines and the racks, And then I put it back, they got used to me. Okay, yeah. And one time I went, I think it's the Sun newspaper, and from England. I opened the page and I saw this guy pushing a cart in a photograph. And there was 3 words under it. Now, these 3 words changed my life to a great extent. The 3 words. And I looked at the picture of this guy. And the 3 words were, Londoners are eccentric. Now, that's when I was going through my wacko life. And
How
I
old
thought,
were you at this point?
oh, that's after they kicked me out of art school.
We got to hear about that too. Okay, but keep going. So,
That's another story. Where was I?
London.
Okay,
London.
London. Okay. I went home and said to my wife and the 6-month-old child, let's move to London for the rest of our lives. And she said, yeah, okay.
Oh,
I had exactly no money. What are you going to do? So we sold everything. I had pictures. Nobody was buying my pictures. So I had can I say shitload? You can edit that out.
We can, but I don't want to.
a feet load. I will be-
I sold them for $10 a piece, this and that. So we had enough money for one-way ticket to London.
Wow.
What we're going to do there, I thought, I'll do a portrait of the Beatles. Maybe even the King. That's when did Queen Elizabeth become queen?
She was there for a while.
Was George still
Yeah, I
the
think
king?
she was queen.
Anyway,
I don't remember.
I sold everything. We had enough money, won my tickets. All of our parents and relatives said, bye, Harley. They said, really? Yes, we're leaving. We're going over to London. Stayed 2 years in London. But that's just something else. And at some moment, I'll tell you within 10 minutes why I stopped drinking and smoking and swearing. It happened in 10 minutes. If you want to ask that
Wow.
later.
That I want to hear about that too. There's so many. We're going to be
We
here
have
for
so many.
hours. But okay, so were Londoners eccentric?
They were kind of nice and gentle and sweet, the ones we met.
They were.
They weren't
proper
like,
fussy.
there was none of that. I mean, as soon as I got off, hello, Mr. Brown, it's a pleasure. And they would lead us up, from the airplane. And we
you
found a
were-
place to live,
You were lured there by false pretenses, false advertising.
Well, no, not false advertising. The fact that I believe that Londoners are eccentric, and that's how I want to spend my
Oh,
life,
yeah.
being eccentric.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted normal eccentrics around me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's that story.
So 10 minutes it took you to stop drinking and smoking,
10 minutes,
and what happened?
even 5 minutes, maybe.
Were
I had
you,
a
were
one.
you still in London at this time? Or
No,
is it after London?
I was back. I was back, and I was doing art shows and so on. I had one show in Montana at State Historical Society. It was a one-man show, paintings, and it did well. I was at it, and it did well. The next day, I was at a house, and a bunch of us around there, and I had a bourbon in my hand.
Mhm.
And the phone rang. Harley, it's for you. Yeah, hi. What are you talking? Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what, where, how? Really? Okay. I didn't say goodbye. I just clicked the phone down. They said, what is it, Harley? What the hell happened? Was I at an art show yesterday? I was so drunk. I didn't know I was at the art show.
Goodness.
I was so drunk. I said to the people in that room, this is my final drink, the bourbon. Yeah, and that's it.
Wow.
They didn't believe me. That was it.
Wow.
And at the same time, I quit smoking. I had my pack of cigarettes in my hand. And I looked at those bastards and I crushed them up and put them in a parking lot garbage can.
Nice.
And I quit swearing.
You
Except for right now.
Except for today.
Except the bullshit. I still use that. What are you gonna do? I'm not perfect. So I quit drinking, and when I became boring again,
So that was the 35 and then
35,
after?
and that's
I
when
really don't find you to be boring.
well, no.
This is not boring.
But if you'd known me when I was younger, and if you'd known me that day that I quit smoking
During
and
your
drinking
wacko
and that,
years.
if you knew me then,
Yeah.
I would be extremely boring. Because, in fact, so much so that all my friends dumped me for parties.
Mm.
No more phoning up. Hey, Harley, we got a party going on. Nothing.
Mm.
Blank. And so I'm nothing else to do but draw pictures and paint. And so there were no more parties, which took up most of my time. And I had nothing but time. And I would sit there and have coffee at a party. And people would say, God, he's a bore, and that's why the phone sealed up. And
Could have been divine intervention.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And so I very slowly started getting back into painting, and I started playing the piano again a little bit. And did you know that when I was younger, I played in a brothel.
I had heard that.
I played piano in nightclubs and that, and a brothel was really an experience.
Yeah.
I mean, the girls were surrounded the piano, Hey, Harley played such and such. Play Lady is a Tramp. Yeah. and, was that Rogers wrote that, I think.
Ladies a Tramp.
yeah.
That up.
But anyway, the tramp.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Anyway, where was I?
Brothel.
Brothel. Was I in a brothel?
Well, apparently.
Well, I was. Anyway, what happened after that? Oh,
You were talking
Oh.
about playing the piano in the brothel. You were boring.
no. Okay. I went back to doing art, down. And like divine intervention, I was sitting in my studio very quietly looking at my drawing that I just finished. And I was sitting there and the phone rang. Hello, this is Robert Lockheed. My God, I thought to myself, I stood up. Oh, I'm sorry. I stood up because, attention. Robert Lockheed at that time was one of the biggest names in Western art, period.
Wow.
It's like getting a call from the king.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he said, Harley, and this is the truth. He said, I was in Reno and I went down the wrong street and I happened to look in a window and one of your pictures and in a store, I guess, or something. And he said, I liked it enough. I want you to come in the show. And now it came to the West.
Wow.
It used to be called the National Academy of Western Art. Then they changed the name to the West. And that was 1977.
Holy cow.
And I went to that show, and he also said, he said, I want you to come up to the Okanagan Valley, and I want you to start painting animals and drawing animals just for the fun of it.
Mhm.
And we got together, he and big, mystical almost, illustrators and artists were there. People that painted some of the greatest paintings in U.S. history were there, plus a lot of young people like myself, youngish, and one of the guys there, he was 20 years old, eventually started working for Steven Spielberg with the animals and such. Anyway, we did that every fall. We got together for that. And that's when I really started learning some important things about shadows, cast shadows and so on, design and that. The first several days I was there, it was so powerful that I was in tears,
Oh my gosh.
absolute tears, going to bed every night. Anyway,
I think it's amazing to have your painting buddies. I've got some of my own, and we learn so much from each other, and it makes the experience better, and we grow as artists
We do.
even more.
yeah,
So-
you do absolutely.
And look
when-
at all the painting buddies we have here today, and at the convention, and we're meeting new ones all the time. Applause. Applause. Applause.
But this is a good example.
Yeah.
Right here is a perfect
Yeah.
example of what
You guys
happened to
can't
me.
see who we're looking at, but we've got a really great crowd here
Oh, yeah.
with us today.
Wow,
So
standing room only.
yeah, and it's a big one. So
So I want to hear about how you got kicked out of art school.
me too. Me too.
Okay, that's when, remember they took me over to the piano
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and I started playing the piano and I
Mhm.
started getting to be a total wreck of a person. And parties all the time. And in the school, I'd go and play the piano it was a huge place with all sorts of different kind of, not just art, but everything. And I played the piano and they had people surrounding me. We had a guy then on the drums and so on. And instead of doing art for the school, plus in the rooms, they were starting to push art into a more abstract-y thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I wasn't catching on. And I would start, doing my little drawings of figures and so on, and I wasn't slashing it. And this was in the 4th year, and they kept saying, Harley, you've got to get out of here. It's not doing you any good. And I kept going back because that was my fun place.
Yeah.
Finally, the head guy, Illingworth was his first name, came up to me and said, Harley, and he put his face right there. And he said, Harley, listen to me. You're out of here.
Ellingsworth, what a jerk.
Uh,
What a
uh,
name.
Yeah.
I was just, you can imagine how I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have my fun. These are my fun people.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how I would feel if they told me I couldn't come to the convention.
Yeah.
I love
Now,
coming here.
think
my
about
fun
it.
place.
Yeah, think about it. So anyway, not only that, he led me out. He got me by the elbow and led me out the door
Oh.
and locked the door.
Oh my goodness.
And
Or did
I-
he lock everyone else in?
what's that?
He locked everyone else in and you were free.
Well, and we talked about that later. And he said, we did you. I said it too. We both did it for a favor.
Yeah.
We both
It
did
was
it.
better for you to not be there.
He gave me 1 year extra in life,
Yeah.
you know. And I remember looking up back at the school, like, oh, you know, this is all my fun and joy. And I looked, and all the students were looking out the window at good old Harley, you know. And I was standing going towards the bus, and I kind of waved goodbye to them, you know, like I was on a ship to nowhere. And the way back, and then they disappeared back to their easels.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I was once again Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
And that's when I immediately went down to the city hall and bought a peddler's license. I was damned if I was going to work for a living. Who wants to work for a living?
Well,
I was going to do art.
Yeah.
And so I got a peddler's license and started selling my stuff door to door up in Mount Royal and then Britannia and so on and so forth.
So you would
had-
just go to people's houses and be like, hey, can I drive
I
a
went to
portrait?
30. I would knock. I had a big portfolio. Knock on the door. Sometimes it wouldn't open. They, knock, knock, knock,
Yeah.
and they'd open the door. Hi, I'm an art student. I would lie. I'm an art student from the art student of the technology and that, and I point to it, and they'd all look, and I'm now doing portraits. If there's anybody in the house that I do portraits, and I would show them quickly, and they'd slam the door. No, I went to 35 houses before I had my first sale.
Wow.
And I knocked on that door and I said the same thing. She said, oh, okay. How much are your portraits? And I said, I do profiles for $1 and full face for $5. And she said, okay, do Danny's profile. So I went in with a pencil and worked on it, eraser and all that. And I finished it off. Oh, that's pretty good. That looks like Danny. She gave me $1 bill.
Oh.
And I looked at it and I said, this is the beginning of me as a professional artist.
Wow.
That's awesome. That-
I love that.
That's the truth. I wish I got the $1, but I spent it on something. I can't remember.
probably to feed
Um,
yourself.
Huh?
Probably to feed yourself or something.
Yeah, I can't remember what was happening, but so that was my first moment. And I kept doing it, and then that led to something, and that led to something. And then no gallery wanted my art. None. I kept going in, they kept leading me out, going in, leading me out. Finally, I was drunk. I came out of the Palliser Hotel and went down First Avenue, First Street, and I looked in this door, windows empty inside. And I thought, well, he could use some art in those windows. And I remember I fell down on my back. And the guy that owned the store came out. He looked down at me. He said, my name is Rand Anthony. What's yours? I'm Harley. And he said, what are you doing down there? And I got up on my knees and I said, your windows are empty. Look at them. They're empty. I said, why don't you put my art in your windows? He said, what are you talking? Well, show me your art. So the next day, I took down some pictures, $2 frames. He said, well, okay. So he's put the pictures in the window, and he hung a couple in the walls. He was a janitor. He was a janitor, and he janited, or whatever you call it, houses.
Mhm.
And so that's where my first gallery was, with a janitor.
Wow. Oh,
And he allowed me to use his basement as my studio.
Oh, wow, cool.
And So he started selling them for $25. Then it went up to $35. And then for some reason it went to $35. But there was a weird thing started. Well, I won't get into that right now.
You're leaving us
Why not?
hanging.
You left us hanging.
You
We
left
gotta
us
know.
hanging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Something strange happened. Wait, now hold it.
Oh.
I was downstairs drawing away. And kind of, here I go again. And he would sell for 35. We split it in two. I had to pay for the frame, and he split the 35 into what, $17.50. So I'd make about $15 a picture. But that's when $15 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so, where was I?
Something strange happened when
Okay.
you were working down in the basement.
Okay. I was working in the basement. All of a sudden, something happened. And will you please do me a favor? Keep this to yourselves. This moment.
This moment.
What I'm about to
Don't
tell you.
leave this room.
And all of you out there,
Yeah.
you have to swear.
Yeah.
Keep this between us. I swear.
Okay. You swear that you will not pass this on.
Pass this on.
And if you do, I'll tell you how to pass it on. Okay. I was drawing away, and all of a sudden, my hands started going like this, like that. And I'd pick up another card like that. Whoa, 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 whoa. And this is true.
I
This
believe
is
you.
true.
I believe you.
And it just started like that. And then I put that down and started another one like that. And sometimes I'd put a little face in it, something like that. My hand just couldn't stop. And my heart was beating.
Damn.
Anyway, this went on for a while. And the Red Anthony came, what are you doing there? He decided. He started putting them in the window. And I remember went with one of my art student friends who I said goodbye to, who stayed in fourth year. And I came down and showed him my art in the windows, and I showed him this other artist's art, this alter ego's art. Remember now, keep this, my alter ego's art. My alter ego, and I can't explain this, my alter ego, the name sprang out of nowhere. The name became Bellanovski. I don't know how it came, but it came out of somewhere. Some spirit went in like that. So these ones like this were done by Bellanovski.
Wow.
And I remember I took a few of my friends down to my new gallery, and I showed them my art and the Bellanovski's art. And here's what they said. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
They said, Harley, you could learn a few things from Bellanovski. I promise you they said that. Yeah, he's an artist.
Did you know that Bellanovski made his first public appearance today here at the convention?
Bellanovski actually did for the first time
time
in
ever.
history.
Yeah. No one's ever met him before.
Nobody's ever met this guy.
I
And
did.
for the first time, he showed up at my little talk or whatever it was.
Is he going to come back, Harley? Because I didn't get to make it to your talk.
Well, you guys chat about something and let me leave, and I'll see if he's handy.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
How do you think it's going so far? I think it's going great. I'm excited to meet this Bellanovski guy. I heard actually, I think it was a year ago that he did a 2-man show with Bellanovski.
Oh.
And really upset because Bellanovski sold better than he did. And he was so mad about it.
Well, I want to hear more about this.
So
So
how-
I want to hear more about the 2-man show when Harley comes back. That's another question. we
Did
need to
you-
ask him?
Talking?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Well, I'm Lisa, and this is
I'm
Kari.
Kari.
Well, I want to tell you who I am.
Okay.
Well, have a
And
seat.
okay, wait, who's sitting here? Who was here?
This was
Well,
Harley.
Our friend Harley.
I know him.
You know him?
He's no big deal.
Yeah. Well, who are you?
Bellanovski.
I finally get to meet Bellanovski.
You haven't heard of me?
I've heard of you. I just never got to meet you.
Well,
Put it
you're
there.
an aberration.
An aberration. Yeah, many people have said that. Anyway,
Can you tell us?
what do you
about
want to
the-
know?
I want to hear about the 2-man show you had with Harley.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. You won't believe this. I'm going to tell you. This is the truth. The truth. There was a janitor. He became an art dealer. Pretty damn good one. He actually made. The sign in front of the door. Salon de art.
Sell on to art.
And he decided he was going to have a 2-man show.
Mhm.
Harley Brown, Bellanovski. We had that 2-man show.
How'd it
Now,
go?
huh?
How'd it go?
I'll ask Harley. He's like, hey, Harley, what do you want? I think you could tell it better. You were there. I want you to tell it better. No, you tell it, bro. No. You tell it. Don't be an ass.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to see Harley again.
Okay.
I got better things to do.
Okay.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
nice to meet you, Bellanovski.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if it was nice to me. I don't know if I like Bellanovski.
He is not quite as sweet as Harley is.
No. Yeah. So I can't wait to hear Harley's answer
Yeah.
about the 2-man
See ya.
show. Harley.
Bellanovski, don't go too far away. We'll have lunch.
Harley's back. Hey,
Welcome back, Harley.
Harley met
Okay.
this guy. His name was Bellanovski.
Well, Bellanovski, yeah. Okay, so long. Yeah, okay.
He said you're going to tell us about your 2-man show.
Had a 2. Oh, did he say that?
He
Mhm.
said you were going to tell it. He wanted you to tell it.
Okay, we had a 2-man show, and this is the truth. Everything I say is the truth.
Of course,
It doesn't
you would
sound
never
like it,
lie, except in going door to door to sell.
That's the next
Paintings.
book. Truth according to Harley Brown.
There we go.
Just according to her, yeah.
That's the next book.
Anyway, we did have, and this is the truth, we had a 2-man show. Harleys were selling at the time for $37.50.
Mhm.
Who am I now?
You're Harley.
Okay. Mine were selling for $37.50. This is the truth. Bellanovski's were twice as much, $75.
Wow.
We put up flyers, 2-man show. Bellanovski and Harley Brown. And with flyers went all over the place. And this is in Calgary, First Avenue, First Street. Anyway, it was advertised all over the place, the 2-man show. And it said, artists may be present. The show was on that night, Saturday night.
Mhm.
I showed up. And there was my pictures, bing, bing, bing. And there was Bellanovski's pictures. I went down and started chatting. I said, hey, is he here? Is he? No, Bellanovski. No. I said, well, do you know him? Several of the people there said they knew him personally. Can you buy that?
Yeah.
It's true. Oh yeah. He's a nice guy. What kind of a guy is? He's a nice guy. He's okay.
What'd you think of his artwork?
What did I think?
Yeah, what'd you think?
I have to admit that he had an approach that I could feel. It
Yeah.
had approach. It was his stuff. His works had a real.
Had something.
It had something that really caught your eye, and it was the colors and the shapes and all of that. But here's the big part. Bellanovski sold every picture. I sold 4
Wow.
at this show.
And how did that make you feel, Harley?
I'll tell you how it made me feel. And this is the truth again. I had Bellanovski leave the country.
You had him kicked out?
That's one way to solve a problem.
I had him leave with his wife, Fleur,
Oh. Well, he's back.
and he was gone. And the Bellanovskis that were left went for more money
Oh, wow.
because
Oh, wow.
he's no longer in existence.
Mm.
And so then I went back to being poverty. I wonder if Bellanovski got those checks.
I wonder.
I don't know. So is that when he hasn't been around since that 2-man show?
No.
Until
Oh,
today.
Here's the really weird part, like you would see in a this part here is what's the name of that Twilight Zone?
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is a Twilight Zone part. Bellanovski disappeared. There's a lot of paintings his that are still around, but this actually happened 30, 35 years ago. I was in my studio in Tucson, drawing away, and all of a sudden,
You made an appearance.
I started and he came back, and I couldn't stop. I literally could not stop my hand grabbing pastel. I couldn't stop my hand. Bellanovski was back.
Oh,
He was back, and he was literally back.
wow.
That became an alter ego you cannot believe, because when that happened, I was him,
Mhm.
and drawing, and so he stayed back. He saw some of the
Mhm.
works of his,
Yeah.
and so he's still back. Once in a while,
He makes an appearance.
makes an appearance.
During
Well,
your,
you saw him just a few minutes
Yeah.
ago.
yeah,
He's such an ass,
he's
isn't
an
he?
ass.
Yes.
He's an ass.
Definitely
Um,
not. Doesn't have your charm.
But he's not nice to be with.
No,
Okay.
no, we got him out of here pretty quick. So in your presentation, you said that you, yourself, it's you and the person you're painting, the portrait that you're painting. It's you and that. Can you explain that a little bit? What you mean by that? That you are in the painting.
Well, the only way you can be in a painting, really be in a painting, there's other things that can happen to you to be very personal.
Mhm.
But the only way you can be in a painting is do a lot of paintings,
Mhm.
so they become like your language,
Mhm.
like the way you walk, the way you talk. You
It becomes an extension of you.
Extension, and you can't say, well, I'm going to be this way, I'm going to be that way. A lot of so-called abstract artists say, I'm going to do abstract. No, it's got to come, it's got to flow.
Yeah.
And we can talk about abstract if you want. No, we won't. I have several feelings of that.
Next time.
Anyway, the more I've drawn, the more I don't think about how I'm going to make that personality, the more I allow my subconscious to come out and find that personality
Mhm.
happening.
Mm.
So it's not a faked, it's not a forced, it's a natural. When I'm drawing somebody, that subconscious, those trillions of little cells
Mhm.
get to work. And when I'm drawing somebody, anything that's going down there is flowing out. It's not, oh, I better do this. Oh, no, it comes flowing.
So if you do enough paintings, it becomes part of you, and you stop thinking
Absolutely.
about, because you've already got the technical
Well,
experience. So now you're creating from your soul.
exactly. And when you hear me jabbering here, I'm thinking of every word, and I'm not thinking if you're going to accept what I say or not accept. I just go on.
Yeah.
We all learn that.
Yeah.
We all
Mhm.
learn that you better take me as I am,
Mhm.
and you better take my art as it is.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Mhm.
And that's
It's a great lesson. A great lesson for freedom.
So you mentioned something else I heard because I wasn't able to make it. You said something about things happen by accident or don't happen by accident. What was that?
the great actor Clint Eastwood. A lot of what's happened to me in life has been by accident or pure coincidence.
Interesting.
The fact that I opened the newspaper and saw Londoners are eccentric. Had I not opened that newspaper, I would not have gone to London.
Yeah.
By accident, I was lost in the Mexican town called San Miguel de Allende. I was lost. I couldn't find my way around. A car stopped. They said, "Are you lost, pal?" It was from America. Yeah, I'm lost. I don't know where. I'll cut this down short. These people were involved with the re-elect Ronald Reagan committee. He had already been elected. They were setting up his inauguration, and they saw my art. They said, we're commissioning you to do his portrait. I got to do his portrait and go to the inauguration. That's because I got lost in San Miguel Allende.
Wow.
Had I not got lost, I would not have done it.
Yeah.
My life is loaded with that stuff.
Yeah.
Loaded.
And is that why people would not believe a movie about you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. And it was Clint Eastwood. He was asked by Larry King. He was asked, has a lot of accidents influenced your life and gotten you to do this and that? He said, absolutely. But you remember this one thing? He said, absolutely. He said, but you better be damn well prepared for it.
Yeah.
If something happens, you better damn well be prepared for it.
And grab it.
And grab it and know what you're doing. Don't slip up on it.
Yeah.
And that's what he said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
I didn't know that you got to paint right after. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the inauguration.
I was down. Yeah, it was a great experience,
It's a beautiful.
And the reason, I don't know if I should, I did Winston Churchill's portrait. And it was because, I'll just do this in a kind of a loose way. It's because I knew the son of, I played the piano in Calgary.
Mm-hmm.
He was the son of one of the great generals of the Second World War. And his father was very close to Churchill. And so the father told the son that he would like me to do Churchill's portrait. And I was going to go down Chartwell, I think he lived. I was going to go down there to see him and work from photographs too. And sadly, he died. But I did the portrait anyway from photographs.
Mhm.
But it was because by accident, I knew this, because of the piano, I knew this great, he was a lord.
Yeah.
I knew his son by pure accident.
Interesting.
It's because,
Was it accident or was it meant to be?
and to,
Both.
yeah,
Yeah.
some things I do believe they're meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an artist at the convention, one of my favorite artists, Kathleen Hudson.
Oh, yeah.
She has a question for you. I promised her I would ask you about the Hawaiian, for you to explain the Hawaiian girl.
Ooh, what's
You
the
keep
Hawaiian
talking
girl?
about the Hawaiian girl, and she's like, but he doesn't tell the story. He's like, oh, someday I'll tell you the story of the Hawaiian girl. So,
Are you going to share it or no?
would
Well,
you like to share?
yeah.
Or should we keep her guessing?
No, the Hawaiian girl made a phenomenal turn. Now, you saw the portrait of the Hawaiian girl
Mhm.
at my little top there. Just imagine yourself a Hawaiian girl. It's a profile, and she's holding on to her arm, and she's looking up at the sky, and she has flowers in the back of her hair. Okay. We had lived in London for 2 years. I was flat broke. We had enough money for 2 or 3 nights of food. I was way behind on rent. We had no money. I've been going to places, galleries, and that, zero. I was hoping this day things would turn around because we had to buy money to have money for supper. We had a child who was now a little over 2 years old. And we lived in a little place out in Catford, on the outlying part of London. So I got 5 pictures framed, put a noose on that one, a noose around that, put them on my shoulders, and walked down to the train station. Now, the train station had steps that go down like that. So I started bloom, 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 bloom. All of the pictures slipped out of the nooses and went down the stairs. Boom, 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 crashing the glass, everything. I picked them up. The people down there were just yelling at me. I picked them all up, took them back to the house, reframed, sometimes without the glass, put them on the loops again, double loops in this way and that way, went down the stairs again, got safely onto the train. I had to stand up with them and hold on to a bar. Finally got down to the Piccadilly, right into the heart of town. And I had the addresses of a few places to go to. Galleries, no. I went to art studios, no. Everything, no, no, no. All that morning, no, no, no. All that afternoon, no, 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 no. And so finally, I walked out and stood underneath the shadow of St. Joseph's Cathedral, which is a major cathedral in London.
Mm-hmm.
And I stood there and looked over at some buildings. And one of them said, Solomon Whitehead, publisher, or print limited editions.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember that feeling. I just felt totally lost in the world. And I walked over to this place expecting another no. And I knew I'd have to go back home, whatever. I walked in and I said, I've got some pictures to show. Is there any? He said, hold on. I'll get Mrs. Butcher. He went to the back room. Mrs. Butcher, I remember her name. She came out. Yeah, what is it? This guy has some pictures he wants to show you. Okay, lay him out against the wall there. So put all the 10 of them there. She walked over there and I was kind of said, yeah. She said, I like that Hawaiian girl. She said, okay, I'm going to buy that. She sat down at her desk and wrote out a check, cashier's check, for several £100.
Wow.
Now, in those days, a pound was big time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Big time. She wrote the check out for me and handed it to me. Mr. Brown, we like that. We're going to make some prints out of that. And she kept it. I put the other ones under. I told her, you have no idea how much this means to me.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Brown. We'll keep in touch with you. I put all together, the ropes, and I walked out, and it was like they were floating under my arms.
Oh.
I walked to the bus to take me to the train station. I was looking at everybody. I got on the train and I stood there and I started singing British songs, including Rule Britannia, Britannia rules of waves. The British never, never, never shall be slaves. And the crowd they started going along with me.
Oh.
I said, oh, gee. And I got off I got on the train, went home, and I said, let's book the Cunard ship back to Canada. We got 2 weeks. We had it set up. We had food.
Oh.
We went and got shopping, big time food,
Yeah.
big time, blah, 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 blah. And we had the ship lined up for 2 weeks. And we took the ship over, it took 5 days, landed in Montreal. Oh, incidentally, when we got to Montreal, the ship landed there and there was trouble. They couldn't explain it. There's some big trouble happening. And so the crew got off, but they said to the passengers, you're going to have to wait here. My wife grabbed me by the collar, had the son under her arms. We're getting the hell off. And she did. She walked right through the
With the
people,
Yeah.
the crew, everybody, and they looked at us like that, and we got the hell off.
Sound like she's smart.
Yeah.
Really.
That's what you do sometimes in life.
intuition. Yeah.
I learned.
Yeah.
So we got on the train, went back to we went on a CPR train, went back to Calgary.
Wow.
Family was waiting. They figured they'd never see us again. That's what phone calls cost a fortune.
Yeah.
You know, we talked to them twice a year, Christmas time. And so we got back there. Their arms were open. We never thought we'd see you again, crying and everything.
Yeah.
And then things started getting better in Calgary. There's a guy and I got very involved with the Calgary Stampede, very involved, and other things happened and so on and so forth.
You know what I learned?
That's the story of the,
that you don't, that you keep going even if someone tells you no.
somebody says to me, no, you can't do this,
Yeah.
blank. Don't even hear it.
Doesn't apply.
Yeah.
Another great lesson. by Harley Brown.
And that's why when they kicked me out of art school and I got that peddler's license, I wasn't going to work. I was going to be an artist,
Yeah.
period.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
Figured out a way.
And I did art. I did drawings in bars for 50 cents a piece,
Mm.
50 cents a drawing. And I'd come home with maybe $4, $5, $6, $7, $10. And they and part of the deal was they give me a beer.
So we've reached our hour.
Oh, really?
Yes, I know it went by fast.
I
So
thought that was 10 minutes.
So I've got one thing I want to mention. We've got Harley Brown's book in the store if you guys want to pick that up. One of his book, Harley Brown's Eternal Truth for Every Artist. But I want to know if you could give one piece of advice to a young artist, what would it be?
Well, the big important thing is, the emotion and that, and your feeling and how you should be behind yourself and your family and all that. Just you say to your family straight on, I'd like to be an artist. You are going to be an artist.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to be. The hell with that. You're going to be an artist. But the important things that I learned in art: number one, design. Number two, values. Light, dark. Design, light, and dark. Color is important, but I put a lot of different colors in my pictures. Doesn't matter, not just skin color, but I'll put purples and blues and greens.
And as long as you've got the values right.
As long as you got the values right. And a lot of people will look, even if they're not involved with art, they'll look at the different colors and all that. They will look past that at the actual activity of the painting. So the colors are important, but also a painting should have dominant value, meaning like a French Impressionist, it's middle value, or if it's a Rembrandt, it's dark, So it should have dominant value. Value means light to dark. And it should have a dominant hue, a dominant color. It should be warm, mostly, and then a bit of cool, or it should be cool, mostly, and a little bit warm. And shapes, give shapes and all that. And draw at least one drawing a day, even if it's abstract. Keep the bloody mind looking at, and your brain cells, you've fed the brain cells for decades. It's time that they get released. And they get released in those drawings.
Yeah.
That's amazing advice. And I wish that this could go on for a lot more.
Well, it was fun. I'm surprised it went that. I must have jabbered.
You jabbered for an hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah. And we loved every
Does it
minute.
go jabbering?
We did. It was wonderful jabbering.
And we loved every minute.
Thank you all so much. Thank you guys. Live at the Prayer Convention. Thank you so much to Harley Brown and his sister Lori for being here.
Podcast is brought to you by Pastel Today, the free weekly e-newsletter dedicated to the pastel painting medium. Check it out at pasteltoday.com. You can also find more episodes and links to the show notes at thepastelpodcast.com. Until next time, stay vibrant.